Hello, and welcome to Business with Smith Co. Hello, and welcome back to Business with Smith Co. Today we're going to be looking at some of the external ideas for existing businesses. So, external ideas for existing businesses. One of them will be competitors. A business can monitor close competitors with a view to copying some of their product ideas. Obviously, this would be without infringing on the patent and copyright. Because, for example, all of these videos are copyrighted. If you were to copy them exactly, you would be breaking the law. For example, YouTube has released its own version of short videos, which, has kind of copied other places, but of course has helped people who are on YouTube and don't want to be, looking at certain sites that are, known to cause a lot of mental problems. They don't want to use those sites. A certain app, for example, that is related to the ticking of a bomb. That kind of thing. You don't really want, if you don't want to use one of those sites because, you feel like maybe not the content, but the site itself has, induced people to be in a certain mental state, then you might not want to do that. So that sort of thing. That means that you can get ideas from competitors and in some cases advance from that. Because if your competitors, let's say your competitors have a product or an idea, and then that idea, it helps attract customers to them, but they're not necessarily, people would always choose your company over this one. Maybe this company is like a certain marketplace website, which, treats their workers very badly. If you have an alternative to that is very similar, then you can achieve that level where you go, if we have this, then we're able to get these customers, and customers will want to use this company because that company is, maybe morally or whatever the case may be, they're not necessarily a good company, and that means that you can advance that way, because treating your workers well and treating your customers well does tend to benefit your business. Maybe it won't, but it generally will, especially if you've got competitors who don't, because then you're the more attractive person for customers, really, at the end of the day. Next, you have trade shows. Some businesses regularly attend trade shows. This is to inspire them to make new products for the domestic market, or search for gaps in the market by looking at exhibits and talking to the attendees. There are many trade shows across multiple countries, so there are multiple places that you can go to if you want to attend a trade show. Then you have customer complaints. Businesses will often have a contact us page or live chat options on the website or with social media. They can receive messages from multiple areas. Some use, apps that are, as I've said, some apps are not the best to use, but unfortunately businesses are kind of, they choose the avenues because they think that, that's an area that you'd contact them on, such as Facebook or Twitter. Not the best sites, but, that's the sort of area you'd be in. Then, of course, you have areas like, you can contact us, for example, at our email address, smithcocustomers@gmail.com, or just sort of leave a comment, or, there's multiple ways to contact us. Anyway, that's the point that I'm making. So basically, this sort of customer complaints can result in changes or developments in products, and they offer, and help to generate new ideas. Because if a customer says, this particular feature in your product is, it's a bit lacking, and you could advance it. Because when you look at products, it's like, so you could advance this slightly, and it would mean you'd have more customers. It's supply and demand. Realistically, if you're going, if we add this feature, our actual demand will go up. So basically what I'm saying is that by that area, by saying, okay, that feature, that will be good to have. And oftentimes that does help to increase things by listening to customer complaints. then that helps. Obviously, sometimes, you need to listen to the customer complaints, and if you don't, it just doesn't really, you make customers more happy when they have this sort of thing, where they have the ability to complain to you and say, well, this product could improve this way. You're saying, okay, we'll improve it that way. Next, you have import substitution. This is when a product that is currently imported is replaced by a product that's made in the country. The replacement is generally of similar quality or price, and it gives consumers the option to buy a homegrown product than an imported one. For example, if you're looking at multiple businesses around the world, they use have just products that are, for example, one of the ways that you can see this is if a certain product is available in a country, and it's popular in one country, and then it begins to spread into another country. Then that country may not have a business that offers that service or offers that product, because it doesn't really make much sense to offer a product nobody wants to have. But then if it starts to go in that area and it's being imported in, then you can have a business sort of area. You're like, well, that's an idea we can have, because we can listen to that, look at that business that's importing the stuff, and then we can say, well, how about we just make it ourselves? Next, of course, you have market research. A business can survey customers, or using polls or social media to get feedback and look for ideas. For example, we posted polls for quite some time on our YouTube channel, and you can view the results in video form and in just general form on I think it's the community page in the YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's the sort of thing. You can do polls and you can get information on all sorts of things that people do. So the purpose of this, the benefit of market research is it can focus groups, and so you can use focus groups to ask questions of its target market. They can also see what they want and need from potential new products. There are multiple ways to do this. The one problem is that if you're starting a business, that obviously does not go into it, but if you use something like social media and you're not a particularly socially media forward business, what happens if you're a business which is always really done things in the paper form, always really did things in kind of a field research type of area, and then suddenly you want to get into kind of you want to ask these kind of polls, but you want to do it online. So you want to have this sort of social media presence. For example, this YouTube channel, if we were asking questions for the business, well, that might cause problems, because there isn't a lot of people who are going to respond with that. I mean, there are obviously businesses out there who are very successful in this area because they have millions of followers across social media. And what that means is that, well, they can ask questions and they're able to learn from that. And that means they can advance, and are able to get a foothold over it. So, basically that can be a problem, because just because, people say, oh, well, it's easy to, spread something online. Well, actually, the problem being that can only be true if you have that idea, whereby you're able to say, well, do you have presence? Because if not, you might not be able to ask those questions. Maybe you might be lucky, and maybe you'll be able to build that social media presence, but we've been on YouTube for, as a person, I've been on YouTube for 6 years. Yeah, almost 6 years. And on the channel, almost 2 years. So yeah, it's that sort of area you have. If you haven't been able to build that area, then that kind of area of market research can fall out of grasp. But it can benefit you on other areas of market research. So once again, thank you for listening, and hopefully you'll join us next time. And subscribe to the channel, because that means we'll be able to, say Yay, we got 2,000 subscribers, or just 1,000 really would be good. Or 4,000 watch hours, that kind of thing, because that'd be good to get there. But yeah, you can view other videos if you didn't like this. That doesn't mean you won't enjoy other videos, just saying. So go ahead, be informed by other videos if you didn't like this one. Anyway, bye.